Hi, my name is Ambreen and I'll be showing you how to make chicken Jalfrezi. So you sit back and watch my video and enjoy it. Right everyone, I will be introducing all my ingredients that I have used for my cooking for today. So you would need an onion. I used one very large onion, garlic, 6 pieces, coriander, a quarter bunch, salt to taste, chilies to taste. Chilies consist of red chilies, turmeric powder, tomato powder, which I combine together to actually make the red chilies. Ginger, small piece, crushed. Green chilies, I use the capsicum ones, 2 is enough. Garam masala, a quarter teaspoon. Methi, dried, that's a quarter teaspoon. That's fenugreek in English. And oil, 3 tablespoons. That is what you need for all your ingredients for our cooking today. I would normally use about 3 to 4 onions if I'm using 2 breast pieces, but because this is a very big onion, it's sufficient, so I'll be using this onion for my entire cooking. As you can see, it's a very large size onion, which is convenient. I don't need to peel lots of onions, so 1 large onion will do. Right, my onion is peeled, and what I'll do now is cut my onion. I'll be slicing it very thin. As you can see, I don't use a chopping board. I use my hand skills very professionally, as you can see. This comes with years of experience, so you'll get there one day. Right, my onions are cut. Now I'll be dicing my chicken breast pieces. I don't dice them very thin, fairly large, but before I cut my breast piece, I normally take the fat away from the breast piece. I do not like any fat in my cooking, so I'll cut them in dices. I find if you cut your cubes of chicken this size, it does not dry out. If you cut your pieces too small, they really dry out. So this size is better for us, or my family prefers this size anyway. Up to you how big or how small you want to cut your chicken pieces. Obviously if you cut your pieces a lot smaller, it cooks a lot quicker. So you go with your own preference. Right, you have to make sure after you have cut your chicken, or if you're dealing with any meat or chicken, you wash the chicken and then you make sure you wash your hands with soap. What I do is I cut the onions first and then I wash the onions, because I find that when I put the onions into my pot, when you put the lid on, the onions let out water, their natural waters, as well as your own water which you've got inside the onion when you washed it. And I think it cooks a lot better and it melts a lot quicker. So I've cut my one piece, now I'm on to my second breast piece. Enjoy. Normally, if I am making a boneless chicken curry, I would ask the butcher to actually dice the chicken for me. But because I had no plans in making chicken curry, I bought this chicken breast originally to make chicken steaks, but change of heart, we decided to cook curry today. So hence the reason my chicken is not already diced. I mean, it doesn't take too long to dice a chicken, but obviously if you're buying chicken from the shop, so it's a lot convenient if you have it diced. One thing I've learned about chicken is if you buy it on the day and cook it on the day, it tastes a lot fresher. Sometimes, I mean, I would buy it and I would freeze it and then defrost it when I need it. But I wouldn't buy chicken and leave it in the fridge for 1 to 2 days. I don't think the taste is right. I think it's better if you cook the chicken fresh. Right, I'm putting my onions into the colander and I'll be washing it. Right, I've added my onions into my wok with a little bit of oil, and I've added in my garlic and my salt. And I am going to let it simmer for a little while by stirring it and then putting the lid on. Well, I'm adding a little bit more oil into my wok, and I will stir it until it mixes in all evenly, and then I'll be putting the lid on. Okay, what I normally do is I get frozen tomatoes, I put them under a hot tap, and then it's so much easier to peel off the skin, as you can see, and then I'll be adding that into my wok. If I buy too many tomatoes, then I tend to freeze them. It lasts a lot longer. So once you've done that, you peel your tomato, add that into your wok, you stir your onions, and then you put the lid on and let it simmer on a low heat, not high heat, but very low heat. As you can see now, the onions have softened slightly and the tomato is melting lovely. So every time you take the lid off, just keep stirring. Every 3 minutes, just keep stirring your wok and let it cook. One thing I like about this electric Von Chef wok, on a nice summer's day, I'll do my cooking in the garden. So I'll put my extension lead on and take my pot in the garden with me. So I could be reading, could be sewing, I could be doing crochet or any activity that I'll be doing and cooking at the same time. So I wouldn't feel it's a burden cooking because I'm enjoying what I'm doing as well as cooking at the same time. So I've got my kitchenette outside, so that's a temporary one, only for summer, and whatever else I'm doing. So that way my kitchen stays clean in the house and there's no smell. As you know, curry has a very distinctive smell, so cooking outside will avoid your kitchen or your house smelling of curry. Oh, that looks amazing, and it was smelling amazing. So keep stirring until it's completely soft. Cooking curry, you need a lot of patience, so make sure you take your time out just to make your curry. So normally when I make curry, I start off in the morning and get my cooking all done before 11 o'clock. I rather do my cooking in the morning than in the afternoon. Once I've cooked the curry, kitchen's clean, then all my jobs are out of the way. So I don't need to worry about cooking or faff around in the evening. Right now, I think my curry is ready for some chilies. So you add in your chilies. I like my curries fairly spicy. So you put in however much chilies you like. It's entirely up to you, depends on your taste buds. I find the more spicy the curry is, the more tastier it is. Everyone's got their own taste buds. Just put in whatever suits you. As you can see, I'm adding in a bit more chilies. I found that slightly bland. So bear in mind, when you do add in extra chilies, your salt content will taste a lot lower. So you can add in a bit more salt. If you suffer from blood pressure or diabetes, then you'll probably need less salt. But other than that, it's entirely up to you however much chilies or salt you add in. Right, you can see the colour change here. It's more dark burnt orangey colour, and the onions are melting lovely. At this stage I put the temperature up slightly so any water residue that's left in the wok, it dries up slightly. So I'm trying to mash all the onions that have not softened properly, as you can see. That's the reason I'm banging the wooden spoon on the onions, breaking the onions up. So you just keep stirring until your masala is ready for the chicken. Right, you can see the onions are melting lovely. At this stage you can use your blitzing machine to blitz the onions if you feel that the onions aren't melting very well, because you do get different types of onions. You get some onions don't melt very easily, but this onion I used melted very quickly, so I don't really need to use a blitzer. So I'm going to carry on cooking it until I see how brown the colour is. So I like my curry fairly brown, so as you can see the colour change there. It's turning into like a burnt browny orangey colour. So the longer you cook your masala, the more tastier your curry is. But this masala that I have cooked today is a foundation for any curry that you are making. So in this masala dish you can add in any vegetables that you fancy. Normally I will do potatoes and peas, which is also known as aloo matar. You can add in courgettes, boil some lentils with your courgettes. You can add in any lentils you fancy. So I mean, this is the base of a curry. So use your initiative. So whatever you fancy eating, you can add that in the masala. Okay, the wok I'm using is an electric wok. Its size is 5 litres, so it's quite a fairly deep wok. So you can make 2 baby chickens easily in this size wok. I find the cooking is done a lot quicker in this wok. It heats up very quickly. I mean, to boil water, it takes exactly 2 minutes to boil water. And the onions melt very quickly in this wok. So I swear by this wok, and I really guarantee this wok. It's Best Buy. Look into it. So now I'll be adding in my chicken. So now you can see the colour of my masala, how brown it is. It will get a lot browner once I've cooked the chicken a bit more. So you keep cooking on a low heat. This wok gets heated up very quickly, so when I do melt the onions, I set it on the lowest setting. So you've got a low setting, medium setting and a high setting, and you've got a warm setting. So when you're about to serve your food, just keep it on the warm setting. It just keeps the food in the wok warm. So rather than using a microwave, it just warms up the food for you. If you look at the bottom of the wok, it's got 3 legs, and those legs stay cold. So once you've made your chapatis or rice, just unplug it and put the wok on the table and just eat from the wok. So use the wok rather than putting it in a bowl or anything. Just use the wok itself, and it just keeps the food warm really beautifully. So I think that is my best buy. So keep cooking the chicken until the chicken is cooked nicely. At this stage you can smell the aroma of the cooking. Right, I'll be adding in my ginger using my mortar and pestle to crush the ginger, not too fine, and it would melt and infuse its flavours into my curry nicely. So you keep stirring, make sure the sides of your pan are clean while you're stirring. You don't want to waste any masala stuck on the pan, so you mix vigorously. Right, at this stage you can see the chicken is softening up. So when you do stir it, don't stir it too much because you don't want to break your chicken. You want to keep full pieces. Okay, now I've cut and washed my coriander and I'm adding that in. Coriander has such a nice flavour in your cooking, so you make sure when you add it in, you mix it in really well. But before you do that, when you do cut your coriander, make sure you wash it really well. That does look mouth-watering. At this stage, you feel like switching everything off and just start eating it. But no, you've got to cook it and be patient until your cooking is done. At this stage, you don't want to overcook it because you'll be drying the chicken out completely. So cook it and keep checking if the chicken is soft. If you find that chicken is getting slightly hard, then your cooking is done. Right, here I've added in my garam masala. I don't add too much of it. I get hot if I have too much garam masala. And half a spoon of methi, that's dried methi. You can get that in packets or boxes from any Asian shop. Make sure you mix everything so everything's all infused together. Mix really, really well. You can see the lovely colours. And now I am adding in my capsicum chilies in. Before I put the chilies in, I washed them and I made long slits in them. The reason I made the slits in them so you can get nice flavour of the chili. And you just let it cook. And these chilies taste amazing. The flavours from these chilies are absolutely gorgeous. So you keep stirring until your chicken softens. And I tell you what, when you are cooking, you can really smell the flavours of the chili, the coriander, the ginger, all mixed together. It looks and tastes amazing. So you keep cooking until the chicken's nice and soft and the curry looks more orangey, browny orangey colour. Right, methi in English is fenugreek. You might be familiar with that. That's what you can ask for if you are looking for it. And that is my finished masterpiece, which tasted amazing. The colours, the smell, all infused together. Right, at this stage, I've added in some water, not too much, because I like my curry a bit thick. I don't like my curry too runny, so I add in water and I'm going to put the lid on it and leave it on high heat for about 1 to 2 minutes until your oils come up. That's when you know your curry is cooked nicely, when the oils come up. As you can see, I've added in peppers too. So 3-4 minutes before you put the water in, you add in your peppers and cook them really well. One thing you have to remember about cooking is you put all your love and your heart in your cooking for it to be a very tasty meal for your family to enjoy. And remember, the key to a man's heart is your cooking.